back in front of the live stream rig in my house. Very excited to be, back playing some pinball in a place I'm familiar with. Yeah, I'll be right here. I just realized I don't have my in-ear monitors. I'll be right back. Lost in pinball dreams. Okay. Well, Johnny Button. John, I miss you, man. It was so nice to hang. I can't wait another year. I can't wait another year till Expo to see you guys. We'll have to do another meetup. Having a taste of like interacting with my, international buddies when we hung out with at Henry's in Houston. It was a lot of fun. But I don't know, at what point would it start to be too much of a good thing? No, it was, so when I was in Houston, I had obviously hung out with Mr. Dustin Echoes before a little bit at Expo, and I knew we were all kind of like very similar, like-minded for, on pretty much everything. And so I had a real good time, and it made me realize, not just about the viewers on this live stream channel, but the whole pinball community is, I'll say it, the vast majority is pretty like awesome people. The pinball, the arcade community, the creators, the hobbyists, the enthusiasts, it's been quite an experience in a positive way. So thank you all for being who you are out there. But welcome to the chat. Q Dog on Twitch. Yeah, John, you're all right. The funniest thing too is, so like, I know most people by their call signs, gamer tags, we call them, right? And anyways, so when I first saw Johnny B TN or Johnny Button or Johnny B Tennessee, I was like, so do I call you John? And the funny thing too, Jess, I had never really been formally told Jay Biscuity's name. It just kind of like I put 3 and 4 together from Facebook, and yeah, so that was funny. That was a very unique thing, but I was excited for it. But anyways, um, happy to be back at home. Had a lot of fun. So Dustin Echoes has one of the nicest pinball collections. I mean, no, let me just rewind. Dustin Echoes has the nicest pinball collection I've ever gone and seen. So props. I know a lot of people have collections and are collectors. Um, so I picked I'll say Dustin, but Henry I picked Henry's brain about how exactly do you hunt down the perfect pinball machines? How do you get these? And so I learned the process, widening the net, searching, how to negotiate. It was a really great experience, and very hospitable. I ate uh, he ordered enough Tex-Mex to feed about 4 of us, but we were only 2. But we hadn't really eaten all day, so we ate most of it, and after we're like round. But oh, it's delicious, fun, great experience in Houston. Um, but yeah, it was a good time. But this morning I was working. I'm just hoping also the stream is coming through clearly to everybody on all the different places in the world. As I walked up to my stream rig this morning, I'm like, I seem to remember fucking nothing working before I went away. And so luckily, it appears everything is working. Put on some background fun music. So today, folks, the plan is I'm gonna have some. I didn't play any King Kong when I was away, so Stern had a booth. They did have a Kong, and or did I play a Pro? No, I didn't play any Kong at the show, but so just like I did at Pinball Expo, I did a lot of interviews with the vendors, the manufacturers. I really enjoy doing that, so I'm gonna expand it each time I go to a show and do more of that and try to really build up the hobby, promote the people that make it what it is. So check all that out on YouTube. I'm gonna publish them over the next week or so. I had, if you're a follower or subscriber on YouTube, go check out the Barrels of Fun factory tour if you haven't already. I had a great tour of their facility. You get to see what's on the line and hear about the inner makings, where they're going, what they're doing. So check out the Barrels of Fun tour on my YouTube. It is it's a gooder. It's a gooder. All right. The game is plugged in. I do look forward to playing pinball and watching the chat roll this morning. And Johnny Button, I think I'm still full from my chavapi. It was like, I remember as we're eating this massive meal, John's like, yeah, it can be a little heavy. I'm like, it's like deep fried fucking pancakes on the outside. Delicious. But yeah, heavy was like a good descriptor after we had started to eat it. But just checking my streams. I think everything is flowing fine today. Yeah, it's like eating 10 butter-only pancakes at once, right? Oh yeah, so Dustin Echoes asked, did the playfield transport go well? Yeah, Yeah, it went really well. The box didn't even have any marks on it. So, long story short, during the the Houston Arcade and Pinball Expo, I'll call it. It's really just called the Arcade Expo. Um, you could go on a Barrels of Fun factory tour. And so I went on it with Dustin Echoes. And at the end of the tour, like the bus hadn't, they were giving away basically one or two playfields by draw to everybody. And the bus hadn't arrived to pick us up. So David Van Ness was just being generous and just kept giving more and more stuff away so people wouldn't get anxious or irritated that the bus wasn't there to pick us up and take us home. And anyways, so I was like, I had to go to the bathroom. So I like snuck off, went to the bathroom, and I come back and everyone's like, there he is. I was like, oh no, what's this about? And they're like, you won. So apparently when I was in the washroom, they pulled my name out of the hat and I won a Labyrinth playfield that has a very small chip. Anyways, then I was immediately like, how the hell am I going to get this home? And because it's about 15 pounds and, you know, you don't want to scratch it. It's kind of artwork. Well, Tree Farmer Charlie will tell you, there's a lesson at the end of this short story, so bear with me. So Dustin Echoes bought some playfield glass from Multimorphic, which shout out to Multimorphic. They have some really nice HD anti-reflective playfield glass. And so I know, we're just like, hey, and he had 2 boxes of it. I'm like, hey, can I use one of those boxes? It was perfect. So it was like the box and the foam. Anyway, so I just used that and I went to the airport with it. And I'm like, my wife had called the airport. She's like, yeah, you can either bring it on the plane and put it where they put like the pilot's jacket and, or it'll fit in the overhead. I'm like, it will not fit in the overhead. And anyways, when I checked the bag, they're like, oh yeah, we can take that. I'm like, oh, is it cost extra? They're like, no, it's just a bag. I was like, so the takeaway from this is, so I had 2 checked baggage allowed, but I only brought 1 checked baggage. So it just counted as my checked baggage. And it came out in the oversized, but technically it wasn't really oversized. So the lesson from this is for everybody, if you fly to one of these shows and you're like, I want to buy that topper, but I don't want to like ship it home. Just wrap it up and put it in your checked baggage. I know a lot of you have probably done this before, but next time I go, dude, I'm going to buy playfield glass because it was like a really good price. And anyways, so Tree Farmer Charlie said they ordered a full set of legs and brackets and lockdown bars so you can build the controller housing that will be basically the first 12 to 16 inches of the machine. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Johnny Button. Basically, I would be like, well, you know, if the airline breaks it, maybe, is there insurance? I don't know. But I would buy another playfield. Let's just say that. So we were at Pinball Expo a while back, and they had a bunch of like used old playfields that would look great on the wall or a window or something, or on a shop or something. But I was like, how the hell would next time I would just, you know, go and find a picture box from, I mean, the shape of the other box was key. It was like, anyways, I won't keep rambling, but the takeaway was I would not be afraid to check luggage that is stuff you buy at a trade show. Let's also play some pinball today too, but
let's take a thrilling look back into yesterday at none other than archaeology's leading lady, the fearless and formidable Ann Darrow. And behind the camera, Carl Denham. Just look at Mr. Denham's harrowing footage of Miss Darrow and our heroes' adventures on Terror Island. King Kong Myth of Terror Island.
Exactly.
Brought to you by sternpinball.
So last time I played King Kong for everybody, I had a topper cam where you guys could see my electric playground topper. It's just too many cameras for my current setup. So I gotta upgrade my computer or do something different to have like 5 cameras streaming at once. Like that's a pretty big ask of any computer. So I have the webcam mounted, but we can't do it, unfortunately. So I'll show you the topper later maybe, but okay. Do I remember how to plunge?
Spell King Kong to battle T-Rex.
So I'm trying a new technique that I kind of learned at Dustin Echo's house, and I'll describe it. But I told Henry when I was at his house, I'm like, I find that I'm pushing your buttons, your flipper buttons, way softer than I play at home. Like I feel like I slap them. So one of my techniques today, I'm trying to dial down my slapping of the buttons. And this is after watching how Dustin Echoes plays and a number of other players. I feel like I feel like I have a lot of issues, but I feel like one of my issues is how hard I push the buttons. So it's one thing I'm working on, in case you care.
They're walking on 2 legs.
Oof.
Biplanes destroyed. Level 2.
Start aiming some shots. My balls hit my other ball.
Shoot the lit target for double scoring.
Oh, sloppy.
Kong letter collected. G.
So, at the Houston Expo too, Stern had about 16 games. It might have been 20 games. They had the leaderboard up there, and so I guess you could get in. I got this VIP pass. You pay a little bit extra. It wasn't like you actually were a VIP. You paid. It was a pay-to-play VIP. Anyway, so you could go in a day kind of during setup and play. And Matt, shout out to Pinball. Live streams Monday at 9. I asked so I could give him a shout out, but he's a great pinball player, awesome dude. Enjoyed hanging and chatting with him a little bit too. Anyways, he got on the leaderboard, I guess, for like a bunch of the games. It just stayed there because I guess when he went the night before, there was an opportunity to just keep playing. And then once the show started, it was hard to get on and get in a groove, but I was like, dude, you're still on the leaderboard for like every game. Not every game, but like he was on for Jaws, Uncanny X-Men, I think Jurassic Park. So yeah, check out Matt. He's Pinballs. He has a Winchester ordered as well. That's probably right.
Shoot the lit cipher! Banana combo. Golden banana. Dirty pool. Lost temple is lit.
Look, Jack!
Double scoring. Shoot the lit target.
Shoot. Oh, yeah. Baba Yaga. Shout out to Silver Ion. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Happy Tuesday? Is it? Silver Ion, I feel like when you say Jeff from Dirty Pool or Dirty Pool, he just somehow arrives. It's like saying Beetlejuice. But, Busted Chops shout out to two. There's gonna be two shout outs here. So shout out to Busted Chops for the resub on Twitch. I really appreciate it. And also, when I was in Dustin Echo's house, he resubbed. So shout out to Dustin Echoes for the resub. So what is the reference again for Dirty Pool? I think I remember. Someone told me before, but I erase my memory sometimes. Okay. Back to the fun. Ball free at 100 million. Not an incredible score, but. That was things.
We should have left him on the island.
So again, I'll probably talk about the Houston Expo for a couple of days while it's still fresh in my memory. But what else was awesome? The music was pretty good the whole time. A few times it was so loud you needed to like wear earplugs. Okay, Jess. Oh, fun's over. Yeah, so it's like out of town for 5 days. I come home and my wife and daughter aren't even here. They like left town. I mean, I thought they just moved out, but I couldn't find a letter on the mantle or anything. So it's not a Zoom meeting. I'm live.
No, I know. What's the guy that you were with?
My wife's asking. So Dustin Echoes is in the chat. See,
Good morning, Dustin.
and we went over that it's not actually his name.
I know. Maybe not everybody knows who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Am I interrupting?
Yeah, you're interrupting. Like, kick Rex.
Good to have you home, homie.
Yeah, that's my roommate. my first wife. Oh, Jay Biscuity says, "Good morning, Mrs. Grown Up Adjacent."
Good morning, Jay.
She says, "Morning, Jess." Yeah, and as far as familiar faces, there was quite a few familiar faces. Not nearly as many as at Pinball Expo, obviously, but Jamie Burchell was there. He was there with his Eureka Heights people. Good dude, sat and chatted with him a little bit in between, watching some football in the lobby of the hotel. But yeah, it was a nice crew, chill atmosphere. It is a party. If you're not into partying, it might not be the show for you. But if you're near there, like I said a million times, like if you're near there, drive there and go, even for a day. Also, if you were in, the other big draw for that Houston Arcade Expo was the console area. It was like, I don't know if it was a club or what, but they had like every console, like probably 40 CRTs, and you could just go and sit and play. It was so cool. And I think it was curated. Like, I think there was a few people there, you know, kind of, I mean, loading up the games. How they, like on the Commodore 64, you'd have to like load, you'd have to type. So I think there was like a curator there, but Winchester won Best of Show. If you don't follow them, Barrels of Fun.
Let's take a thrilling look back into yesterday at none other than archaeology's leading lady, the fearless and formidable Anne Darrow. And by her side, the rugged and resourceful Jack Driscoll. Together, the adventurers set foot on the notorious Terror Island. They escaped with a mighty King Kong, the spectacle we are
So
about
Silver
to
Island,
behold
like,
tonight.
what
Kong,
happens?
Myth of Terror Island, brought to you by Sternpinball.
So what I'm wondering is, what happens if when these games actually start to get on location and people actually start to play them? What happens if they're like full of flaws? So one thing I noticed that I thought was very clever that Jersey Jack did, they put out a bunch of display models like all over the country at very popular arcades, and they harvested data before they started making the machines. So they knew where all the like, you know, a lot of the issues were technically in the software and stuff. So what I'm wondering is if Barrels of Fun for Winchester or Spooky with Beetlejuice, if they're planning on doing that. I thought that was a good move because that was probably partly why the first like customer orders from Jersey Jack actually were quite good. The code was quite progressed because they had already kind of probably ironed out a lot of the ball traps or the code errors. So I thought that was kind of like a good secret weapon. Like they sent out, I heard they sent out like 40 or 50 of these display models, and even just like 3 weeks worth of data. And then when they started manufacturing like game one for the customers, they were already like pretty good. I don't know if you guys heard that, or maybe I'm off on that, but I think for big production runs, like that is key. So. And like you never see it. No one does. I waited so. Okay, so. never trust the center pin and shit. So Silver Iron, what about how like Spooky's sandworm is like, it's like easily just as awesome as the mech for Dungeons and Dragons, yet they've also got like 5 more mechs in there. I was like, oh, it has a dragon, but it also has 5 more mechs. It's, I mean, pretty cool.
Skill shot. We need better lighting. Smell King Kong to battle T-Rex. Kong letter collected.
I mean, what's some fire? Like some pulp, not some fire.
Stegosaurus.
I mean, it is a good amount of irony that
Use the gas bomb.
the dragon game caught fire, isn't it?
Shoot the biplane ramp.
Like the dragon catching fire was kind of like one of those was it Tiger King moments? Like, I will never financially recover from this. So one thing that was interesting at the show, one of the main Kongs, I don't remember which, if it was a stern one or something, but it had no arm. It was with one arm. It was an amputee.
Mega secret skill shot. Kong letter collected. N. What do we have here?
So Silverine, did you purchase directly from Spooky? Oh, okay, yeah, Pinball Star.
Cut, print, check the gate.
So, are people actually, is there a number of people buying and selling their deposit spots already? I haven't really been lurking in Pinside, but I mean, I've heard it's a thing. Are any successful sales going through? They are? Yeah. Yeah. I made a comment on one of the live streams and basically my opinion on selling your deposit for any of these big games. Like if you have a deposit, if you have to sell your, let's say you realize you made a mistake and overextended yourself. That's kind of the only circumstance where it'd be like kind of cool to sell it, but maybe like do a raffle, do a charity. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think on that? I made a comment on one of the bigger live streams. I'm like, yeah, you should be able to like, you should have to like prove financial hardship. And like some asshole in the chat, there's always an asshole in the chat. Just so you know, I'm ever grateful that my chat doesn't have a number of assholes. There's a couple, you know who you are. But like, let's say for example, you're like, oh, I needed to pay my medical bill. I had an ambulance fee. I broke my finger. I needed an MRI. And like, you needed to sell your fucking deposit. Isn't it like acceptable under certain circumstances? And then some assholes like, we shouldn't have to like prove our financial. Like, no, I'm just saying, like, if you have a legitimate reason, like, I don't know, especially when like the game's not going to actually come for months. You don't know where you're going to be in months. I think the better thing is, rather than sell the deposit, keep your deposit in, get the game, and then resell it if you had to. Because then you can be like, hey, listen, I didn't buy 7 of them. I just bought 1. No, you didn't. No, it was no. No, I don't think it was you. No, I don't think it was you. But yeah, Poppage Guy and Aaron, We Buy Pinball, shout out. Welcome to the chat. Nice to see you guys. I was just saying, there's very limited circumstances where it would be kind of like understandable if we're all friends here. Like, if Johnny Button's like, shit, man, I think I've fucked up. I think I've bought more than I bit off more than I can chew. Would we like shame him and make him a pariah for selling his deposit? Or is there like a limit where you're like still okay? I don't know. It's one of those like, the comments can be, at least sometimes, can be like filled with hypocrisy, right? But anyways, I'm gonna keep playing, but yeah, and that was the other thing I kind of called for. I was hoping to have like a good back and forth conversation when I had this on another channel. But scalping is what we're talking about. Like Dustin Echo said, like scalping, it can really ruin any market. It can also make things accessible for people that were lazy or missed their chance. So it has a place, but like, I don't know. There needs to be some sort of control or mechanism. Yeah. And maybe like a small profit, right? Like, I don't know. You want my spot that I like argued with my wife to get? Give me $1,000, but don't give me like 5,000 US dollars. Like US dollars, dude, that's like 1.5 of Canadian dollars. So like 5 is like 8. So that's a little crazy. Okay, well, we're talking about it. What about when companies, and I confirmed there is a company doing this, and I'm also one that doesn't like to call out companies because I wouldn't like a business to call, or anyone to call out a business that I own. But what about companies that buy 10, slap some modifications on them, and then sell them for 60% more? Is that okay? Or they're allowed because they're a business and they declare they're a business? I mean, so should businesses or distributors, should the distributors get like a pass? Well, Papa the Guy, I almost think it's like a bit of a loophole. So you have to like be a distributor to be able to be a part of this like acceptable scalping market almost. But oh my goodness, Michael Focus, I'm sorry I didn't see your first few messages because I didn't have multi-stream on, but I'm just going to read them now. But yeah, Michael says it sucks, but scalping never going to be stopped. Yeah, do a lot of reselling, but not scalping. Scalping is a cheap way to ruin it for others. Agreed, 100%, brother. You can make a few bucks, but it's not just going to make. How I have my setup here, I have to change one day. But I'm trying to reduce how much back and forth is in my bandwidth because we had frame drop issues the other day. But oh yeah, at least you guys can see what he was saying. But Yeah, Michael, another hot take. Michael says some folks had the perception that Spooky was cherry picking or even picking dispros to do it. Yeah, like is it a cousin's brother that started a distro just to scalp? And then is it acceptable because they're a business? Well, and Michael also like, well, there's people that will, they might buy 5 for the household and like have, use 5 different credit cards or something. I don't know. Like, it's one of those things. So let's say, for example, like here, okay, I'm going to make a hypothetical since we're having an adult conversation here. Put on some music in the background. So here's an example. So I'm committed to buying a Beetlejuice and a Winchester Mystery House. What if like my plans change? And I'm like, you know what? I'm overextended. I want to sell my deposits, but I need to make something so I can do the next thing. When's it become acceptable? I don't know. Or do you have to like what I suggested was, if you're going to sell your deposit, like at least make your case. Like, here's what happened, guys. I bought this deposit. It was a gamble. I can't afford it now, but I need to make something. So make me an offer. Don't like list it for 5,000. Be like, make me an offer. Is that a thing? Oh, Silver Iron brought another clever thing to the chat that there's people that want to do trade requests. Yeah, Aaron from We Buy Pinball Life says also, if you didn't call Spooky, you didn't get a game. So what? Okay, let's make another hypothetical. What if someone buys Papa de Guy's deposit for 2,000 over, and then they turn around and sell it for 5,000? Like, that's an opportunity, supply and demand. Like, people will do that. I know people will do that. So. Another thing that I don't think we're going to be able to change is how the manufacturers are trying this new approach. The FOMO capitalism. So part of me is like, oh man, what a good strategy. They're only releasing 500. Or Spooky's like only releasing 800 or something. The truth is, like, they can't make any more. They're not set up for that. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but that's all they can make. They're not like, oh, we're going to limit it. It's because that's all they can make. Or they would have fucking done 2,000. So they're calling it FOMO, but the truth is they're like, we're just capping what is reasonable. It makes good business sense, but let's be honest. This isn't a marketing genius ploy. It's let's not oversell ourselves and piss off people too. And that is something that's not really talked about, but that's the truth behind it. That's why it's kind of chat's rolling. I'm so glad to be back and talking to you guys in the chat. Michael Focus says also, I mean, to be honest, you'd probably take a Winnie over a BJ, a Beetlejuice, yeah. So My other question for kind of the chat is like, when do you expect to get your games? Like maybe I came into this whole ecosystem a little bit later than a lot of you who are used to like ordering a CGC game and getting it 2 years later. Is that just what we all have to get used to? Because like I have a pretty good job. I don't have money to fucking tie up for 2 years. Is that just what you pay to play? Is that the price of admission? I don't know. I'm not like mad about it. I'm just like wondering, do we just have to accept it? Well, that's the thing too. Like Michael Farkas says, or Mike, I'll say Michael on YouTube. That way we know. Michael's on both platforms often, but so folks are still waiting on their Evil Dead, and they just bought a Beetlejuice. Yeah, so like one of my friends from town here, they bought a and also Space Junk. Thank you for the welcome back. I appreciate that. Happy to be back. This chat rolling is like a highlight for me today. So I will start banging some pinballs around too. But it's rolling right now. Yeah, so people have not yet received their Evil Dead. They're dumping money out, putting it out for Beetlejuice, and like it's almost like, well, when are we gonna collect the game? I don't know. I'm asking sincerely. Because I'm like, all right, well, I got quite a bit. I had to like sit down at dinner and be like, yeah, I put $3,000 Canadian on a fucking game that I'm not gonna see for what sounds like a year. So yeah. And don't forget Tom.com. I abstained from a lot of the pinside posts, so by choice. That's why I ask you guys sincerely. And you guys have more experience than me, so I value your opinions a lot. So Silverine, you mean end of year this year or end of year next year? I mean I just want to share also, I'm extremely cautious in ever sounding like I'm being negative about a business, because I don't want to be talking shit about a business, because I am a business owner and I don't like how that's just not a good form. But I do have questions like, when are we expected to get our games? That's like, I know it's a coin flip. End of year 2026 is likely the case, right? But yeah. And if that's just what, I mean, okay, so here's another story for you all. I went to a friend's house, Dustin Echoes from the chat. We all know Henry. And he had a Medieval Madness Royal Edition remake that he sourced, and it's just gorgeous. And it was like the previous owner had never even played it. And I was like, man, is that how do you ever get these? There's so few of them. They're so hard to get, and they're so expensive. Like, how do you get in that market? Do you have to be a whale? Do you have to be a collector with infinite income? I mean, when I retire, I know I'm on an hourglass. When I retire, I want to be spending any wealth that I've achieved at that point, but I'm not there yet. I still have to talk at dinner if I'm buying anything, or I won't have my wife helping me make financial decisions. Yeah, Space Junk also just hit on another topic, that the supply chain is crazy for every industry right now. Yeah, I heard that on the Barrels of Fun tour. They've had to really get creative with sourcing and hedging bets, and so. Well, yeah, that was one thing that I learned. I always try, when I find people that are smart or they have a strategy or they're good at things, I always try to harvest information. I like to suck good knowledge out of people. And so Dustin Echoes told me all about, you befriend the people with the nice collections and, consider trades, consider, just let them know, hey, if you're wanting to move your medieval madness, let me know. So I was looking through some ads this morning locally, and there's not a lot for sale around me. But anyways, one of the people wanted a trade for Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, okay. Depending on what day it is, I fucking hate that game or I love that game. I don't know. And widen the net, yeah.
The fierce and formidable Anne Darrow. And aboard her trusty vessel,
So Broncos won. I mean, I'm a fan of John Wick. And Jaws is obviously one of my best for shots and layout and theme.
Hidden deep within the uncharted waters of the South Pacific. The island has a reputation, and not for its hospitality. King Kong Myth of Terror Island.
So it was funny. So I was listening to the JBS show, the Jamie Burchell Roundtable yesterday, and they had Retro Ralph on there and Kale from the Electric Bat. And anyways, Retro Ralph had a pretty, accurate statement. He's like, I don't know why King Kong didn't sell better. Like it shoots really well. That was like a completely accurate statement. I love how this game shoots. I love the different areas on it. I don't know why this one, is it just because of the timing? But yeah, Tom, you're right. Get to know all the collectors. Even then, the big collectors don't get rid of games often. Yeah. But I mean, then there's the trading thing. I don't know. Can't have all the rescue dogs, but well, one solution, Papa to Guy, is get the topper from So this rotates through a whole bunch of Kong cutscenes. I don't know what scene it's on right now. Anyways, that rotates through the scenes. I recommend that one. So Mike on YouTube says, does anyone really know the sales volume? No, they don't. And where are they, if they are getting their information? Like, one comment is, so much of the information is so incredibly biased that you really almost never know what to believe, to be honest.
Lost Temple is lit. Shoot the little cipher.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Tom, me too. I don't trust the center pin. I just don't trust it, or I'm not good at it. He just went up there. That's from like a week ago. Yeah, silver round, that makes sense too, right?
Stegosaurus encounter. Use the gas bomb. Banana combo. Golden banana. We need to solve this. I didn't come all this way for you to ruin my perfect angle.
Oh, I have some other interesting news if you guys care. I was just approved for monetizing on YouTube. So if you're a subscriber or a person on YouTube, I can now do the super chats, and I've set up some tiers of membership that are still getting approved. But yeah, I'm monetized on YouTube now. So if you're ever over on YouTube or you're not a subscriber, there will be some exclusive stuff happening over there. Oh, I tried. But yeah, check out YouTube. Yeah, it just happened last night. Got finally approved. Got to meet quite a few criteria and then apply and blah, blah, blah. I've had other channels monetized before in different hobbies and stuff. So they've made it much harder now, so that was cool. Also, regarding YouTube, check out my YouTube in the next, well, there's obviously the Barrels of Fun tour that's been doing well on YouTube, but I've shot about 7 or 8 interviews at the Houston Expo that are pretty good if you're into that sort of stuff. So I just gotta like do my thumbnails and schedule them and all that. So, but I'm trying to do a lot more just long form content. I really enjoy at the show, like having a interview with real people. Like, I don't want anything from them. I'm not trying to like make money, but I'm just trying to 30 seconds after I talk about being monetized. No, I just want to like showcase the creators out there. Like, so I talked to Brad Albright, super chill individual. He has a lot of products that he sells too on his website. I think it's, I don't want to quote it. Anyways, video to follow. It might be BradAlbrightIllustrations.com, but anyways, good people. And I love that I get to chat with good people and then share those chats with you guys. Dustin Echoes prefers interviews with fake people. Well, you know what's funny? I was going to interview R2D2. They had like the R2D2 set up, and I was gonna do like a fake interview, but there was too many people around and I didn't want to get like shunned or made fun of. It would have made for some good content though. And they're not like, I mean, I always tell the people if I'm gonna do an interview, I'm like, listen, I just want to kind of do a little bit of a commercial for you. I'm not trying to like ask hard questions. And then I do sneak in 1 or 2 hard questions, but they're usually in good fun or, you know. all my interviews I shoot too when I go to these expos, they're all done in 4K as well, so they'll look good on your big TV in your living room.
Super skill shot. The drill is done.
I've been one thing I find half of the time I'm just shooting shots. I'm not actually following the rules. That was nearly a triple drain. Urgh. Oh, for once the center pin worked. Well, we buy pinball. I really appreciate that. I'll tell you something. So during the Barrels of Fun tour, I did ask if I can fit. Do you mind if I film in here, take pictures? They're like, oh yeah, no problem. But then at the end, I was like, can I do another tour with you, David? I'll stick around. And I kind of feel like they maybe didn't want another tour, or I don't know. I wasn't sure, but he's like, yeah, well, maybe you can come back and we'll do a tour another day. So maybe I'll do that next time. Next time, maybe at TPF, I'll try to do an exclusive tour with, you know, a little more planning involved. But that was more of like a, hey, come along with me on this, you know, experience. And that's partly why when I'll do like a walk around, like a show walk too, it's kind of to show you the place, and you could decide if you want to go next year. That's like, I'll be honest, when I walked into Pinball Expo, I've been to a ton of trade shows in my industry, but like I didn't know what to expect. But now you guys can watch and see if you want to go. Or you can decide which ones you want to go to, because, you know.
Shoot the lit cipher. Lost Temple is lit.
Yeah, catch you later, Dustin Echoes.
Con letter.
Thanks again for the hospitality in Texas.
That's a wrap. Game over.
Dustin Echoes, did I ask an illustrator about an immigration policy? No. But yeah, anyways. Just looking at the clock, I do have to go to work. Maybe Silver Iron, does Cloudflare detect that you're the problem? Is that what is it detecting that your system is it not letting you log into work or something? But yeah, I do have to go to work. Yeah, you're right, Jess. If I don't go to work, especially after missing a day of work or two. Oh, it did. Okay, yeah. Well, you know what I find is when these things happen with the cloud infrastructure, they send ripples for days. So I saw that during the Amazon Web Services. I mean, you probably know if you're in any type of tech, the backup systems can overload quickly. So yeah, well, you must have known. They tried to minimize the AWS outage, but like Twitch was fucked up for days, and then you look on Down Detector and that, like, people were reporting Twitch issues, but Twitch said it was fine. I'm like, yeah, it's owned by Amazon, so yeah. So Silver Eye, I'm one person. Like, I don't tell anyone I know how to fix their computer or set up their iPhone or something. Don't want them to know. It's also like, so my wife doesn't know I know how to load the dishwasher, which is like, it's a, I don't know if it's manipulative, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Aaron from We Buy Pinball says, Barrels of Fun is an amazing company. A friend of mine here in Iowa purchased the Labyrinth, and when it just came out, there was a problem with the playfield chipping, so they flew someone from Barrels of Fun out to his house with a populated playfield. Yeah. So. But yeah, Brass League. Shout out to Brass League. You can click the link to follow in the chat. So for the viewers who are coming over from Brass League, this is Grown Up Adjacent Pinball. We live stream real pinball machines on the daily. And I just got back from Houston, and I'm excited to play Kong today. But you're kind of coming in right at the end because I got to go to work. So, but if you're not a follower, consider that follow button. But yeah, unfortunately, I have to go to work like in 2 minutes. So I will catch you guys on the afternoon stream. Stay tuned for some cool stuff. I will be publishing my show content on YouTube. But I know I would love to, but I've been following my Microsoft Teams before I logged in this morning. I'm like, yeah, I got to be there today. But anyways, folks, thanks again. Let's see if there's anyone in our category we want to raid over to together. But you know, I think I'm just gonna head to work. I will catch you on the I almost said Retro Ross. I'll catch you on the flip side. But we'll catch you later. I'm gonna head to work, and I'm super excited to be home. Super excited to see such an active chat today. You guys really are an awesome community. But like I said, also check out YouTube over the next couple of weeks. I got a bunch to publish. So